front and centre as to how this UK setup is at the moment. We have a UK government which, of course, when it came to Brexit, denied the people of Scotland their view. We obviously voted to remain, and they took us out of the European Union. Our democracy didn't matter. When it comes to a number of elections we've had now in Scotland, concurrent results that the SNP has won on a mandate of a second independence referendum. And of course on this issue where the Scottish Parliament, not just the SNP but the Labour Party, the Greens, the Tories, the Lib Dems and indeed members of the SNP voted in favour of legislation. We won by 2/3 majority, but the UK government have said Scotland's democracy doesn't matter again. So no matter which way we turn, we're getting denied.
I want to let the listeners ask you the question, and I'm sure there will be questions on this, but just on that, that's a bit of hyperbole, isn't it? Because what they did was they enforced part of the Scotland Act, which the SNP voted for at the time, when you were in short pants, I imagine. It is quite clear that there is an effect on UK-wide equality legislation. And the lawyers seem to agree with that.
No, I would dispute that. I don't think it is quite clear that there's an impact on UK-wide equality legislation. Indeed, Caroline Noakes, a very esteemed member of the Conservative Party, would seem to agree with me on that point. Now, obviously, that's going to be debated over the next few weeks and months. And probably end up in the courts for them to determine whether that's the case or not. But the bill was very explicit on the face of it that it didn't intercede with the UK Equalities Act. Many of the provisions within it are just provisions that are already the case at the moment but have been extended or changed slightly. But it was good. It was a good thing. And, you know, when the Scottish Parliament was put together, it was based upon the consensus politics, bringing together different parties, bringing together different
That's worked out
views.
well, hasn't it?
Oh, indeed it did. It did. This bill is an example of that, where all the parties came together and a 2/3 majority voted in favour of the bill, and the UK government have said no. And as far as I'm aware, they've not outlined why yet, beyond the statement of reasons. Alistair Jack has been said to Alistair Jack, if you want to come up to Scotland's Parliament and tell us what we need to change to make this work, and he said, well, it's for the Scottish Government to bring forward. I'm sorry, but he's the one that's saying it can't go ahead. He needs to open his door and tell us what needs to change. My suggestion is he doesn't want it to change because it's a part of a cultural war for the Conservative Party.
When you were standing up questioning him and then the emergency debate was granted, you were faced with a situation where you were having to make a speech on a piece of paper that you hadn't actually seen.
Yeah, exactly. It was utterly bizarre. You know, the UK government, which is for the first time ever told us that we can't move legislation that's been agreed in the Scottish Parliament, brought forward a statement of reasons, but they did it as I was on my feet in the House of Commons. All protocols appeared to have been thrown out the window. I did get the opportunity to read it subsequent to the debate, and you know, it was probably the flimsiest piece of procedure I've ever seen. There was bits in it that inferred that this can't go forward because the government's IT system can't deal with a couple of hundred folk being added to it who may happen to be trans. I mean, if that's the strength of their argument, then bring on the court, because I think they're going to be in for a bit of an embarrassing situation.
Right.